Hi there, my name is Adrienne Kirschner, and I'm the Deputy Digital Director for Organizing Together 2020 here in North Carolina. Today, we're going to be talking about text banking. I want to thank you for signing up to Text Bank with us. We're really excited to have you here, and we're looking forward to working with you to reach people all across the state to talk about defeating Donald Trump's agenda. So let's get started. As text bankers, you guys are going to be our front line talking to people across the state. Our goal is to talk to as many North Carolinians as possible. Text banking will take place every Tuesday and Thursday. You can sign up for shifts. And we're going to have an online Slack community for you to get instructions, to talk to each other, and to talk to us as needed while you're text banking. If you're not familiar with Slack, just think of it as an online workspace where we can interact with each other as needed while you're volunteering. So first, what is peer-to-peer texting? Peer-to-peer texting is simply using an application to text as many people as possible in a short amount of time so that you can engage with people and have really important critical conversations with them. We write the messages in advance. So we draft the initial message that you send out, we draft all the recommended replies, and that saves you the time of having to type out messages every time you're responding to a person. One thing to keep in mind while you're texting is that we will never use your personal phone number. Even though you need to use your personal phone number to sign up to create an account, that will never be visible to anybody that you're texting with. The application we use is called ThroughText, and you can log in on the website that we have listed here, throughdext.io/login. You can use it on your phone or a computer, but we highly recommend using it on a computer if possible. The first thing you need to do to get started is to create your account. Start out by going to our website and clicking on the link to sign up for volunteer events. Through that, you'll go to Mobilize America and sign up for a text banking shift. Once you sign up for a text banking shift, you'll get an email inviting you to create an account with ThroughText, the application we use for text banking. Be sure to create your account and test it out. Make sure that you can log in okay at least 24 hours before your first shift. That way we have time to troubleshoot if there's any issues. You can use the Slack channel to reach out to us if you're having any trouble or you need help creating your account, so be sure to keep that in mind. Then when it's time to start texting, you sign in to ThroughText for your first shift. Some things to keep in mind. If you've never created a ThroughText account before, you definitely have to create a new account. If you've used ThroughText before on a past campaign, or if you've used another application called Relay, you can use that same information to log in this time. No need to create a new account. Relay is simply just the old name for ThroughText. It's the same exact thing. Something to keep in mind, if you forget your password or you lose it, we at Organizing Together don't have access to reset your password for you. You need to contact support at ThroughText and they can help you with password resets. If you're a new user, you're going to have to log in and accept the invitation from us and enter all this information to create your account. And again, just as a reminder, even though you have to enter a phone number here to set up your account, that phone number is never visible to any of the people you'll be texting. When you get your first texting assignment, you're going to log into ThroughText and you're going to see a screen that looks like this. This tells you that you have a campaign that's been assigned to you. You click on that campaign and that's how you get started. When you're actually logged into ThroughText on a computer, this is effectively what your screen looks like. You wouldn't have this box in the middle with text in it that I added, but the screen is divided into 3 sections. You've got the people that have been assigned to you to text. You've got the middle section, which is where you have your active conversation. So you see this person, Adrienne Driver, is highlighted. That's the person I'm texting with right here. Then off to the side here, you have all the different tools you need for the text banking campaign. You have general information about the campaign. You've got all the pre-written replies that we've prepared for you. And then you've got what's called survey responses. The survey responses are how you record information that you've gathered during the conversation. So for example, if you ask someone if they're registered to vote and they say yes, no, or I'm not sure, you would record their response here in survey responses. And that's how we capture the information. If you don't record anything there, it's just a text conversation and no information is captured for us to use in future conversations. So that's really important to remember to do going forward. When you do start texting people, the initial message will automatically populate in this field down here, and you just have to click send. And then it just jumps to the next person, and that initial message populates again. And you just keep clicking send over and over again until you've sent messages to everybody in that batch of contacts that have been assigned to you. When you're sending messages, you have to remember that you cannot start replying to people until you've finished sending all of those initial messages. So for example, let's say 100 contacts are assigned to you to text with. You need to send that initial message to all 100 people before you can start replying to any new messages that come in. Something else to know is that if you have texted all the people in the batch that have been assigned to you, there is a button there on the screen that looks like this that says request more conversations, and you can use that to request to have another batch of contacts assigned to you. Sending replies. When you're sending replies, you can customize them. That's important to remember. We have them pre-written for you, but if you need to tailor them or tweak them a little bit to fit the conversation, you can edit them as needed. If you're looking at through text from your phone, it's important to note that this is what the screen looks like. So this is just the middle section that we saw before in a previous slide where the active conversation is. If you want to see the contacts that have been assigned to you, you need to click on assignments here. If you want to see those tools that I told you about, like the pre-written replies or the survey responses, you have to click on tools here. This is what your recommended replies look like. So when you're on this tab, replies, you can see the short text or the title of each reply. And if you want to see what the long text looks like, you just click into it and the long text for that response will show up here below. If that's the reply you want to use, you click on this little plus sign and that automatically populates it into that text field and you just click send. Once it auto-populates into that text field, if you want to tailor it at all, that's the moment to do it before you hit send. Survey responses. As I said before, this is super, super important. This is how we capture the information to use going forward. Like if we find someone who wants to volunteer and we need to know that we need to follow up and contact them, you need to record that survey response. Here, for example, if they indicate in the conversation that they're registered to vote, you would go to survey responses and record whether or not they're registered to vote. If they tell you that a particular issue is very important to them, you would go into survey responses and click on the issue that they've indicated is their most important issue. What I do is anytime I'm having a conversation with someone, I click on survey response and I just scroll down through all the different survey response options to make sure that I'm capturing all the information that I need to capture. Sometimes you're going to get wrong numbers. That's totally normal and it's okay. What you need to do is just hit the survey response that indicates that it's a wrong number, and then use the recommended reply to just say sorry and end the conversation. It's pretty self-explanatory in the replies which one you would use in this case. Opting out. Sometimes when you text someone, they're going to say stop or opt out or take me off your calling list. When they do that, you need to opt them out. It's absolutely required. So please do that. When you're on your phone, you would just click on this little icon here to opt them out. If you're on the computer version, you'll actually see a full text button that says opt out on it. You just click on that. If someone is being offensive or threatening or harassing you in any way, do not opt them out. We actually have a survey response that you can select to indicate that they're a hostile person and we won't contact them going forward. Texting etiquette. Be friendly and positive. Remember that you're volunteering with Organizing Together 2020 and representing us. So we want to make sure that they have a positive experience when they're interacting with us. Don't text anything that you wouldn't want to see reported in the news tomorrow or posted on social media. Never engage with trolls. They text too, and sometimes they can be a little inflammatory. We really encourage you to not engage with them at all. If necessary, take a screenshot and send it to us in the Slack channel and we'll handle it appropriately. One thing to keep in mind is when you are screenshotting something to report it, only share it with your organizer or your direct support within Organizing Together. Never share it in a group chat or posted online. Sometimes these messages can be a little bit inflammatory or hostile or inappropriate, and that's not something we want to be sharing around and making other people uncomfortable. Never click on any links or files that people send to you, and no matter how productive or engaging the conversation is, never give out personal information. It's really important that we keep you safe. So that's it. That's the basics of text banking. It's just, you know, have fun, be personal. You're talking to a real person, and this is your chance to have a real conversation with them about some very important things. So take advantage of it. Really kind of dig in and enjoy yourself. It's a lot of fun, and it's really inspiring and empowering to be talking to people and mobilizing in 2020. Next, we're going to move on to a system demo. So I'm going to stop sharing this presentation right now and click over to the system. So this is what it looks like when you log into ThruText. When you're logged in, you're going to see the campaigns that have been assigned to you. If you look right here, I can see that a new campaign has been assigned to me because of the status new right here. So I'm going to click in to that campaign, and you can see I've got 10 contacts assigned to me. I just assigned myself a small batch for the demo. And you can see that I have Guy Waddell highlighted here, and you can see the initial message is pre-populated right here in this field. So what I would do is just click send over and over again, and it's going to go through this list, and every time I click send, it's going to send this initial message to one of these people. After that, you're going to be ready to start hitting your replies. I'm going to move this over here. You can see right here, I've got general information about this texting campaign. Right here, it just tells you a quick blurb about what you're doing in this texting campaign. So for this one, we're reaching out to people that we think might want to volunteer with us. If you want a little bit more information about the campaign, you can click on this link here, and it takes you to something that we prepare for you called a texting guide. The texting guide is just a document that kind of reviews a lot of information and then gives information that's specific to this campaign. So for example, here, if this is your first time texting with us and you want a refresher on how to text, you click on this link here, and it's going to take you to that slide presentation we just went through. You scroll through, and it just reminds you the basic of testing. There's some FAQs here, refreshers in case you have any questions that you need to be answered, and then it walks you through the script. So you can see here, this is the initial question that we just are sending out to a bunch of people. And then here are all the different recommended replies that you can send depending on how they respond. And for each possible thing that they could text to you, we try to anticipate that and have a scripted response that you can send to them. And that's what this list is. If the list isn't very useful for you, if you're a very visual person and some kind of visual representation of the conversation is more helpful, we've created a process flow that walks through the conversation. That process flow looks like this. And it starts out again with the initial message right here, and then it walks you through every possible response you can get and what recommended reply you should use when replying to them. I have little stars in here as a reminder for when there's probably a survey response that you need to be recording. It's really important as you go through this process that you're always recording those survey responses. So we go back to our texting campaign. And let's say I try sending all of these out. Okay, so now I've got no more to send. So I'm going to wait and see if I get any replies for them. And when I do, I'm going to jump in and start engaging with those people. In the meantime, I'm going to show you another campaign so you can see what an actual conversation looks like. So for example, this is a voter who just coincidentally has the same name as me. And this was a past campaign I did where I was reaching out to people to find out if they're registered to vote. So it sounds like based on our conversation, she's very concerned about student loans. So in the survey responses, I went through down here and highlighted the most appropriate survey response that seemed relevant to the conversation. And then I continued through the script to keep engaging with her. So I asked her if she's registered to vote. She said yes. So I went back over to survey responses and I recorded, yes, she's registered to vote. And you just keep going through the conversation and clicking back and forth between these recommended replies and the survey responses to engage with the voter and get some very important information and then wrap up the conversation. As you can see, as I said in the presentation, you can see that this is the short text or the short description of what each pre-written reply is. If you want to see what the long text is, you click on it and you can see the long text is there. If that's the reply you want to use, you click on the plus sign and then you follow through the flow of the conversation. And then when it's finally at its end, you end the conversation based on the script, depending on what is the most appropriate response. And that's pretty much it, y'all. That is texting with ThruText. Thanks again for signing up to be a text banker. We're really excited to have you here, and we got a lot of work to do this year. It's going to take all hands on deck. And again, thank you for being here. Have a great day.